stream, let's say.
I'm pretty good at doing compasses. I came out of a cornfield this weekend, and it was great, a maze, and I didn't get lost once, and so I'm basically...
Do you feel a
I've
bit
been
cheated?
practicing for Eidolon my whole life.
Do you feel a bit cheated if you don't get lost in a maze?
No, I have a weird... Phobia is probably not the right word, but distaste for getting lost. Like, I will get nauseous if I don't know where I am in a video game for even 15 seconds. If I just start moving something about the way I'll move my character's head around just to find the next spot, I'll just immediately get nauseous and get a headache.
This might not be the game for you then. I'm sorry.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I'm climbing this hill so I can get my bearings. I know pretty much where I am. So why do you go in a maze then? Is it to best it?
It was... My girlfriend thought it would be fun, and I didn't want to be a wet blanket, and it's a thing I had never done. So we did it, but then it was also a corn maze that was... the same kind of people that hate the Vita Chambers and Bioshock would have hated this corn maze because they gave you a map when you went in. They said, this is basically the maze, and let's see if you can not get lost with this map, and we've put a bunch of different artifacts hidden in the maze, and by hidden I mean we tell you where they are. And if you go and get little punch card, basically symbols on your card that show you got them all, we'll give you a treat at the end.
Oh, cool! Was the maze themed?
It was themed like the farm it was on. So the things you found were like a picture of a pig and a picture of a horse.
Things you find on a farm.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at the view out there. I mean, you can't look at it until 15 seconds in the future, but
I'll just have to take.
If you just have a reaction now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe a little more wistful.
Oh wow.
Yeah, perfect. Great. You got it on the second read.
Nice.
What was the treat?
It was basically like
was it a
Halloween
pig?
No, it was not a pig. Thank God. It was just a Halloween pumpkin full of stuff like bad candy and a plastic ring that looked like a spider.
Oh, good.
You know, the usual.
The clouds are really low here, and also orange. And I don't know whether or not that's because something on the hill is making them orange.
This game might have the prettiest clouds.
It has such beautiful clouds. The clouds look like they kind of gently migrated from Hohokum into the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to play more Hohokum. I've played just like a little bit of it. But
I played enough to kind of fall into and then out of love with it.
Why'd you fall out of love with it?
At least on its surface, it communicated to me that it was a game about play and just kind of doing kind of whatever you felt like and not worrying too much about rules, kind of like Nobi Nobi Boy or something. And the more I played it, the more it became obvious that it was really just a game about kind of arbitrarily moving around until you found the right hotspots or the right combinations of hotspots to have the level
PT.
that you needed. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was like whimsical Terry Gilliam PT. That's actually a really good way of putting it.
I quite like the colors. I like
the colors are amazing.
It makes I like games that make me feel good to play. Like this. This makes me feel good to play. I can't remember what else I was playing at the time, but I think Hohokum came at a really, really great time for me. It arrived at a strange time in my life.
It's the Marla of video games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess Eidolon is as well. Did you play much Glitch?
Glitch? No, I didn't. Is that the like MMO type thing?
That was the tiny... Whoa. Man, okay, I've just seen something really weird on the horizon. It looks like the landscape's all chewed up over there.
Ooh.
Like, maybe they're the jagged fingers marked on the map. That looks really weird. They're much, much, much bigger than I was expecting them to be. I can also see a watchtower in the distance over there. So, I don't know whether or not to climb the watchtower. It's also gotten very, very dark all of a sudden.
Do you have binoculars?
Yeah, Look, I can look around.
Such Eidolon envy right now.
I got binoculars, Anthony. I got 2 maps. I found a glow.
I
can see some... Oh, God. I almost wish I had a torch at this point, because it's very dark. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait until morning. Because I don't know if there are any wolves that live around here. I don't want to encounter any wolves in the night. Because that'd be a little spooky. It's not the Halloween month yet.
KF Trendy says the clouds in this remind me of Far Cry 2, which sounds about right. That explains why I love them.
Were they kind of bubbly clouds in Far Cry 2?
They weren't, but color-wise, I think that's where they were making that comparison. There's just something about lovely orange clouds that just feels
Yeah,
wistful in Far Cry 2 and dangerous.
but not. I don't know if it feels dangerous here. We got one of the dream poems here that says, "Lo, I for you." No, sorry. I'll take another run on that. Lo, I or you, or woman, man, or state, known or unknown, we seeming solid wealth, strength, beauty build, but really build eidolons. I super love these things. I don't know what they mean, but I love the fact that they are relevant to the last audio diary we found. So that to me feels relevant to this building of a libertarian isolationist community.
Hmm.
Really building eidolons, which I think is pretty cool. I hadn't accounted for the mist descending this morning, and now I can't see anything. So I'm just going to hang out up here until the mist leaves. Do you want to hunt around on this hill for the tower, or do you want to aim for the spiky ground things? Or the watchtower? It's up to you.
Spiky ground thing sounds pretty
Spiky ground
appealing.
things? Cool.
Yeah.
That heads south and might even bump us into the camp that I'm hoping is Anders's camp.
Oh, I got a sleep poem too. These with the past of vanished lands, of all the reigns of kings across the sea, old conquerors, old campaigns, old sailors' voyages, joining Eidolons. Didn't even rhyme. Pretty shit poem.
I think I got that one as well. So part of me wonders if that is where some progression is as well. If they're in order. I just sort of assumed that they were randomly pulled from a huge collection of vaguely classical verses, but maybe instead they're. Do you have a bow yet, Anthony?
I do. I haven't found anything to use it on, but
I guess you could have shot that wolf that killed you.
and I found the bow after the wolf, and I went, aha, it's time for vengeance, and then never found the wolf again.
I don't know if the spiky things were in the direction that I thought they were. This blasted mist. I'm gonna head south. I was talking to my friend earlier today, and he was saying that he didn't find the art style didn't particularly do much for him, which I thought was a particularly seditious form of heresy.
Yeah, I have to disagree pretty vehemently
With him or with me?
with him.
I think it's pretty damn cool. I even like the way the animals' legs don't move.
I will say, I think the UI is probably not as sexy as it should be, but
which bit of the UI?
the button, the little buttons at the bottom of the letters, kind of feel like it's. I think it's trying to be an extension of that iPad thing you're carrying,
Yeah.
but the iPad thing kind of looks like my first attempt at drawing something in Flash. Like if you look at the upper left-hand corner of the iPad thing, there's a black line that kind of goes a little bit over. It looks a little bit amateurish, and a lot of the UI elements are derived from that, which is kind of a bummer, especially when the rest of the game is so beautiful.
Oh yeah. Well, it could just be a badly made Lux device.
It could be.
The
I
screen...
mean, there's certainly enough care put in everywhere else in the game that is probably not an unreasonable.
I believe it's this team's first game as well, which is a pretty weird and amazing achievement to say. You know what our first game's going to be? It's going to be Eidolon.
Yeah. Is it going to be a game with a clear pitch? No. Is it going to be a game that you can look at a trailer and know what you're getting and have a basic idea of what's exciting about it? Not at all. We're going to kind of.
Will people think
mislead
it's a
you
caveman
along.
game? Absolutely.
Yes.
It's definitely a caveman game. Have you seen that game? I believe their name's at Billowper on Twitter. They're making a caveman game that's flat shaded and really low poly and interesting looking. Some gorgeous shading.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
I really recommend looking it up. There aren't enough caveman games, I don't think.
Yeah. There's my friend Donald and I have long kind of lamented that there hasn't been something that feels like either a caveman thing or a low fantasy thing that's
into
just
a tree. Sorry.
dealing with survival in a context that's not about I want to build a massive trebuchet and and Minecraft engineer degree and all this kind of stuff. That's just more low fantasy, sort of grungy, surviving day to day and sneaking around from things.
Yeah. Did you play? Have you played Neo Scavenger?
I Don't think so.
Neo Scavenger is a survival game in which they just patched it, and the flagship feature of the patch is that you can now get nasal infections. So that's the sort of game that we're talking about here. I found a watchtower and I climbed it to look at where we're going.
I think it's possible to have a good game without a watchtower, but it's not likely.
It's tricky to get to that stage, is what you're saying.
Yes, I
Does
think you have more work ahead of you if you don't put a watchtower in your game. Like Far Cry, Daisy, Stalker.
Absolutely.
These are watchtower games.
Does the pre-sequel have a watchtower in it?
Fuck. Well,
You must have a
it was a nice
watchtower
ser-
somewhere, right?
it was a nice series while it lasted, I guess.
A lunar
We had a good
watchtower? There's got to be one.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose there are. Yeah, there are watchtowers.
I can see a green dot down there, so I'm going to go explore down that. There's also a weird kind of thing down. It's a weird thing down here, Anthony. It's the only way I can describe it.
That sounds like the kind of thing that we should be into.
Mm.
Also, I just saw you on the stream looking at that mountain and thought that it would be a pretty amazing Smash Brothers-esque crossover if the skybox mountains in this game were the mountain that you got from the game Mountain, and nobody ever publicized that.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. And nobody ever publicized it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the Eidolon way. It's like, do a cool thing and tell literally no one about it at any point.
Otherwise known as the Kentucky Route Zero School of Promotion.
Yeah.
I don't know what this thing's going to be. I hope it's from Anders. I like Anders. Anders, I've got a real soft spot for because he went through a really rough patch of sickness, possibly because he was suffering from withdrawal of the beacon. Like, if you spend time close to the beacon and then you leave it, you get sick. And he had this really great postcard about how he'd pulled through. He was really proud that he'd been sick for the first time in ages and he'd pulled through. And then the most recent letter we have from him is like 5 years later, and he's absolutely dead certain he's dying of this terrible sickness that's come down upon him again. So I feel for the guy because, you know, he thought he'd escaped from it, and he hadn't. And that's a bit sad. Oh, I've absolutely found the sea. I found the peninsula.
I will happily pay you money to just say the word peninsula over and over at me when I'm feeling down.
Peninsula. There you go.
Yep.
I'm going to say
Yep.
it again. Peninsula.
Oh man, you're just wasting money at this point. You're just doing something for free. I just told you I would pay for it. You're
Well, you
you're not
just need
maximizing the brand.
No, you need a YouTube video. I found another picture. This one shows some kind of research facility that's possibly the ruins I'm seeing down here. I'm trying to like align the picture with, with
Oh yeah, I see it.
that's it. I've aligned it. I've done it. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna leave that on the stream for a bit. That's kind of it. Probably closer to that. There we go. Let me know when you see that.
Oh yeah, so it is. So have you been down where that research facility
Nope.
is supposed to have?
Everything I'm currently showing you through the medium of Twitch and OBS is new. Nobody's ever seen this before.
Oh, well, it sounds like that's your next objective.
My objective. Yeah, I got to kill 3 dregs while I'm down there.
Yep. Oh God. And then after that, maybe kill 3 more.
Mm. You know what I don't feel I do enough in Destiny, Anthony? It's kill dregs.
I completely agree. I felt like I needed far, far more of dregs, and then I thought, well, what? I would like to fight something that's like dregs, but visually slightly dissimilar, but mechanically exactly identical. And then the game obliged me.
You found
It is
those things on Venus.
Yeah.
It's great. Which are the ones with the kind of
Yeah.
cool heads?
Probably the ones where their name is a normal English word that Bungie have repurposed and are trying to recontextualize to avoid
Right.
having to come up with it themselves.
Well, to an extent, I kind of like that school of enemy naming because it feels vaguely Borges-y to me, like Jorge Luis Borges, when he names things, like, oh, the telescope, which means something really weird and cool. But the difference is, I think that Borges actually puts the work in and works on the rest of the narrative, rather than just saying the word and hoping that it works for people.
Yep.
I like the lighting in that game.
Yeah, I like the lighting and I like the way that melee attacks feel.
Oh yeah, the melee attacks have a real sort of a real boop to them.
I think
That's
goop is the
Phil
right
and
word for it.
Arthur's joke on. I can't claim. It's a Stream Friends joke, I guess. So I can. I can see a green flashing light in this facility ahead. I'm calling it a facility. It looked a bit like a facility. Um, Now it looks like. Oh man, no, Anthony! I know what we found.
What do we find?
I think we found the bastion. Maybe these look like walls.
Oh,
Also,
oh, shit.
there's weird. This game keeps getting weirder. There's weird purple crystals coming out of the ground here, but kind of cute purple crystals. You know, like translucent. You know, all the cute purple crystals you've encountered,
Yeah, your average cute crystal,
but purple.
non-threatening kind, like the kind you might get at the shop.
Right, absolutely. The crystal shop.
Yep.
Actually, no, these might be ghost crystals. I might have spoken too soon.
Oh, yeah, you have to go to specialty shop for those.
Can I walk through them? I can. Okay, this is weird.
You're inside the memories of crystals.
I think that's a Popentine game.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
There's a big wall here. I'm trying to find the door. I love these trees. I love the way this game contrasts in industrialization with nature, but in comparison to other games that try and sort of make some big artistic point with it, the fact that this game's nature is flat greens and browns, and its industrialization is flat greys, and sometimes like glowing greens is really nice to me. Here comes the clock. There we are.
Do you live in a mansion where people are murdered?
I do.
Okay.
All English people do. But this one is very much in a very rundown, tumble-downy condition.
Oh, right.
It's called.
So your manservant is sort of like.
Oh heck!
stodgy.
You'll see on the stream. After talking about the ghost crystals, I came over a bit of the wall that's fallen down, and the inside of this compound is just full of ghost crystals. Just hundreds of them.
Oh, that's neat. That's awesome.
Apple Cider Mage in the chat says, whoever made this game has a really strong sense of color, and I absolutely agree. The color work in this game is fantastic. Right down to the way just in this place now, it's fading out. The color gradient is changing based on distance, but it seems to be also based on time of day and atmospheric conditions, so it's fading out into a kind of pink shading, whereas I've seen it fade into blue or green before. I'd be interested to see kind of what specifically the game is using to create that effect. I don't know if this place is marked on my map. By the way, I have an extra map.
Ah, so much maps. I've got one map and a vague hope to get to Old Town, but
What, now you know it's there.
I do.
You got a compass. You can read it. That's more than I can do.
It's true. These are all true things.
Did you ever do any orienteering?
No, I never did.
Boy Scouting, using compasses in compass places, you know.
No, that would have
Proper
required being
places.
outside, and I had much better things to do than that.
And that's why you ended up writing video games.
Mm-hmm. I did it specifically to stay inside in my pajama pants, and I've managed to adhere to that fantasy.
It seems like a pretty good setup. Alright, I'm going to pick up this other narrative fragment. I prepare people before picking them up because it's probably going to be some weird revelation. Here's a cooked fish that I just ate. Oh, yep, it's weird. It's a leaflet for Mission Biotech. And the tagline says, "Welcome to Mission Biotech's Trendy Pet Center." So the game took another swerve.
Oh boy.
Which is fantastic. If I click on it, oh god, it opens the leaflet. Here at Mission, our biggest and brightest goal is to bring you the pets and plants you deserve. Want a houseplant that doesn't need direct sunlight? This game is amazing. Want a cat that never gets sick? Here at Mission, we are honored to show you everything we can create. What started as pest control and plant modification has since bloomed, and with the advent of beacons, the demand is up for better and better pets. We've all heard the requests. Can you help my puppy stay young forever? Can you keep old Rascal from passing away? Can you make our lab eat less? He's getting expensive. Well, if you'll step into our trendy pet center, we'll have something for everyone. Then they talk about the 3 tiers of service. The first one is limited to simple modifications such as added glow factor, mixing the best parts of two of your favorite animals to create something entirely new. The second tier is where most exciting changes happen. They can make a pet live forever by adding human DNA, so they're affected by the true light. Those are the beacons. We can also offer complex mods like giving a dog scales. I am patting my dog right now. Or making any common pet able to photosynthesize. You know, like pets should. At our final tier, we offer the most advanced services. At this rate, we offer an eternal pet upgrade to anything you choose, and are willing to attempt any complex genetic modifications you could be interested in. Just last month, we had a customer who wanted a smarter cat. Through our service, we gave him a cat with a tested IQ of 100, opposable thumbs, and the ability to speak. The Trendy Pet Center is a subsidiary of Mission Biotech, and our work couldn't happen without the support of Mission's founders. Is this all bullshit? I don't know if this is not real.
Is it? Yeah, it seems unusually funny compared to the other things this game has thrown at you.
Like, are they... I can't tell if they're lying. Or if
are they just like wishing that the green thing will allow them to eventually do these things? Or
well, we know that the green thing can... Or maybe it's like, hey, Anthony, you know what I can do to your cat? I can make it talk. You pay me a lot of money, I'll make it talk. And then, I guess, something we don't make your cat talk.
It would be, to get purely meta on it, it would be a really odd narrative promise to have to leave, an audio log saying, this is a universe where somebody pitched the idea that you could have your cat talk, and then go, yeah, but they were just making that up. It's like such a fun, weird, putting gills or scales on your dog is such a fun and weird promise and so evocative. It would be such a, it'd be such a weird thing to do to like pull your punch on that.
Yeah. Although at the same time I wonder if I don't know if talking cats are like I don't know if talking cats fit with the kind of aesthetic, the rest of the aesthetic of this game necessarily.
That's the weird thing. I think the game is just trying it every turn to confound your expectations. And
so
that
wait,
is a
to
really
be clear,
good way to confound those.
Do you think talking cats exist in this game?
I think talking
Also,
cats
we got
probably
some
existed at one
amazing
point.
visuals here. I love the fact
I think every single one of those ghost crystals was a cat that talked.
I think these are the plants that we're talking about. It's interesting as well that there was an Old Town letter from Danica Hemberly, my favorite letter so far, who mentioned talking about things that Ada, who was the writer of the letter that you found, saying. Talking about the things they found, and it says, of cities of light and cities of night, of animals that glowed pale under the moon, of wild men who sprung from the wet earth and lived their whole lives out there. And up until this point, I just thought that was like, just she was talking nonsense, but I guess cats glow now, and there's a good reason for that, which is people like glowing cats. Also, cool thing is, if you'd shown me this screenshot yesterday, I would not have expected it to come from Eidolon, and here I am one day later being like, oh yeah, this is what Eidolon looks like, underneath this starry sky.
Glowing cat, ghost crystal game. Like your dad might have played.
Yeah, the golden age. Fantastically, Austin says, there are animals in Eidolon, right? And Rusty Beartrap says, what if the foxes and deer are sentient? And that is an actual thing that I had not considered up until this point, but could super be a thing.
Yeah, are they killing you not because they're just wild, but because they want to punish / protect / save you from something?
That is a thing that could actually be happening in this stupid video game. Eidolon by
that we're here.
By Icewater Games. This is what you make for your debut game. This is what you make.
Boben says this ain't your dad's glowing crystal ghost cat game.
Oh man, this is a really good game. I'm just gonna run this green breadcrumb trail thing again to see if there's anything nearby about the mission or about this sort of stuff. There's something about the mission in a this-away direction. But one of the things that the breadcrumb trail doesn't tell you is how far away the thing is. So you might just have to go like yomping across the wilderness. I think it's safe to assume that this is these are the spiky claws coming out of the ground, right?
Yeah, I'm sure everything will be completely fine.
No, I mean on the map. Like if I'm looking at the map, if
Oh! I thought horrible things were coming out of the thing. Yeah, I don't know. You were so far above my competency level at this game that I'm basically watching high level MLG no scope play of Eidolon, and
well, the really great thing is, I I super don't know how to play this game or understand it in any capacity. It's just the narrative skills that it's taught me, or the exploration skills that it's taught me, are ones that help me get even more confused. Like we're going to present you with a series of tools, Jack. I'm going to head south until I hit the water and then follow the coastline around for a bit, so I can hopefully work something out. Oh, we're back in a forest again, and amazingly, it doesn't look boring because this game is great. You see, if this was one of your games, Anthony, I'd be fighting some people now.
I've made other games that weren't Borderlands. I made a Twine adventure about being married to my wife. Actually, it was about being married to me.
Oh, I should
You
play.
play as my wife.
Is there any fighting in it?
There is a part where my wife accidentally summons Cthulhu Jeffrey Yohem from beyond the veil,
Oh
and
man!
you can either choose to save me from him, as he quotes Stanislavski, or you can let him poke my eyes out and suck my soul, and then you
Wow.
have to marry him.
Wow. And that was similar to the creative process for Child of Eden, right?
Yeah, exactly. As far as I can tell, that's exactly how Child of Eden came to be.
I
Is
haven't played
touched
Child of
it
Eden
once
yet.
and he killed me.
Um,
I haven't either. I honestly disliked Far Cry 3 so much that it scared me away from that. That, and I don't like JRPGs.
yeah, I'm almost exactly the same way, and also probably hypocritically, despite the fact that I made a game that rhymes. I'm not particularly fond of rhyming stories. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not particularly fond of Yohalem's rhyming stories. I don't know. Man,
I mean, but that's the only one he's got, right? So you don't know until you've tried, presumably?
I need to have a rest now.
Is it just that you feel like you've cornered the market on rhyming?
Yeah, in A, B,
Is that your
C,
brand? Do
B,
you resent people for
for making things that rhyme?
Yeah, that's your
Well-
that's your you invented that. Jack DeCate invented rhyming, being British,
Yeah,
having a dog.
yeah, a clock, a striking clock.
Yep.
Playing Eidolon. I didn't invent Eidolon. I invented playing it.
Like yeah. You were the first guy that had the idea of what if we actually like interacted with this game?
Oh
was
man,
just
Soltron says, "Are you guys thinking of Child of Light?" You had me looking. Yeah, Child of Eden is that really great
that's the Res game.
Res style
No,
game.
Child of Eden is incredible, actually.
Yeah,
Sorry, I take
Child of
all the
Eden's
horrible things I said about
fantastic.
Child of Eden. That's great. Child of Light, I don't give a fuck.
Do you remember the whale in Child of Eden?
The whale, yeah, that was the
whale
moment that
is
entire
so
game
good.
clicked for me. And I was like, oh, okay. This is, yeah.
Anthony, I
that's
think
guys'
I
game.
cried a bit when I saw the whale. It was-
I felt a thing that I could not put words to, which is allegedly I have heard what art is supposed to do.
Yeah.